right, Gypsy Rose messaged me, and everybody's been asking for the screenshots and what exactly did she say. We're going to post the screenshots in between this, and we're gonna basically run through kind of what she's saying. And you guys can read the screenshots like in between. You can pause it to read it. Okay, so first off, when she first emailed me, she stated, hey, I would like to keep this between you and I. And then she explained pretty much what was going on, and she knew that I was on the fence about her, and she stated that. She also mentioned that I could discuss the things that she has written, but she didn't want me to show the physical screenshots of what was being said. So she said, I want to clear up the rumors basically about her being pregnant. She says that she's not. Ryan was really sick, and they went to the hospital. It comes to find out he had bronchitis, and, you know, they ended up getting x-rayed, that if anyone said they heard her checking on a fetus, that was basically lies. And then she moves on and says that the reason why she changed her Instagram and removed Anderson, because people know her as Blanchard, so she just really wanted to keep Blanchard, and she went ahead and made a private account under her married name. She said, I wanted to keep the two very separate. We now know that that was likely lies because they were having issues. And obviously, now that we see that they're separated, there was a lot of conflict in what she said.
Now, wait, and when did she send this message?
This was March 13th.
Okay, and so she just got separated.
Yes.
On the first or so, right?
Correct.
So, what, 2 weeks later?
Right. So it just indicates that she was even lying in these messages, and that she was saying that they weren't having issues, they were not going to get a divorce, and here you go 2 weeks later, there's issues, and she's facing a divorce. So she said, you know, she created a private page so that she didn't have to worry about scrutiny for every move that she made, that, you know, people would be judging her. She just kind of wanted to do selfies of her dog and, you know, have her private Instagram and kind of just, you know, be her. But then she says, moving on to the topic of Rachel. So she basically accused her best friend Rachel from prison and said that, you know, she only wanted her for money. She always stated, like, I'm Gypsy Rose's best friend. Or, you know, she basically was saying that she was clout chasing for her name. Now, basically, the interaction I've had with Rachel, that's not been what it was. And being that Gypsy Rose has lied up until these sentences, I am led to believe that that was lies as well. So also she moves along and she says that she was offended that Rachel went to Fancy, and that you know, her siding with Fancy was something that she felt like they couldn't recover from. And she feels like Rachel used her for money while she was in prison. She was like, she bought her hygiene, she took care of her, all these things, which she may have gotten her those things, but I don't feel like Rachel was using her, because Gypsy's always said she's the victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look in currently, she's saying that Ryan was allegedly abusive to her, and, you know, she had to leave because she was nervous, and this reminded her a lot of her mom, and so again, she's the victim. And I'm feeling like the boyfriend she has now, Ken, not the boyfriend, the friend, he is, I feel like she's manipulating him the same way she manipulated Nicholas Godejohn, except Ken, I don't believe, is autistic. I don't think that he has any special needs. So I don't believe he would do anything like what took place with Nicholas Godejohn. But I feel like it's the same trend, if that makes sense. So she moves on to say that, where did she go? So she says that right now, okay, so she says I never cheated on Ryan with Ken. Ken and I never had a relationship behind Ryan's back. It was just a phone call. Now, granted, was it the right thing to do? I don't always make the right decisions, but it was weighing hard on my heart. So fast forward to now, lots of people have their exes on social media. Ken was a very big part of my life, and he was my first love. He was my first engagement, and we're still on good terms. Do we speak? No, but I'm still close with his mother, yes. Anyway, the point is that I wanted to let you know what was going on between Ken and I. So simply just we follow each other on social media, nothing more, nothing less. Now, I want to be clear, I did speak to Ken via phone on March 4th, which was Thursday. Yeah, April. Monday was April 1st. Okay, so, no, April 4th. Ken himself told me before she messaged me on Facebook, he and Gypsy discussed it. So she already lied in that message because Ken already said this to me on the phone. And I don't think Ken did it to be honest and kind of tell on her. I think he said it, because he was just saying what actually happened. But he was saying to me, yes, her and I discussed, her messaging you. And basically really cliche, very calm, not really thinking anything of it, not knowing that Gypsy already denied all of that in these texts, right?
But I also pointed out before how Ken has nothing really on social media, but she made sure to follow him. And how are you being private? What are you following? He didn't have anything on his social media pages. So it seemed like you're making a statement when you didn't really have to. If it's not a big deal, then it's not a big deal. But why are you following a person who has nothing on their social media?
Right. Now, also, I want to show you guys this clip about a prediction that I made back on January 8th that she was going to end up either she had already seen Ken or she was making arrangements to see him, and I believe that she was going to end up leaving Ryan for him. Okay, so a lot of you guys have been asking, who is Ken? This is Ken right here, which is Gypsy's ex-fiance. Apparently they were together for a couple of years. He ended up breaking up with her because of the amount of time that she had, and he didn't know if he could make it through all that time, supposedly, or allegedly. And I'm guessing in the documentary when she said she spoke to her ex 3 weeks ago from the time Ryan and her were speaking on the phone at that point, this was the ex she was talking about. I'm going to be very honest with you. I would not be surprised if she has seen the ex since she's been out, or if she has plans of seeing him. Look, don't shoot the messenger. Okay? I'm just saying. This is my belief. I don't know if it's true or not. I might be completely wrong. But Ken is kind of hot. Right? Like, Ken is... I don't know. Ken is looking very Ken-ish. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? Like this... Listen, I know it's coming across as me being messy right now, but I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying this is the tea. Y'all asked who was Ken. I was going to mind my business. I put it in the comments, and then a couple of comments kept saying, who's Ken? Who's Ken? Who's Ken? Okay, this is Ken. Gypsy's ex-fiance. Now, she moves along and she says, I asked her if what was she comfortable with me discussing, and she said, I'm comfortable with you clearing things up about the topic, and I'm not having an affair with Ken. That's all she wanted to clear up.
You understand? She just told you she's comfortable with you saying X, Y, and Z.
Right. Now, do you remember we were in Austin when this happened, where I had made a post about, okay, they're following each other. I actually think they're seeing each other. And she sent me this message shortly after she's seen those videos.
Yeah.
So obviously I was hitting very close to home. And here's the clip of that video.
Yeah. Yep.
This is Tea Time with Nina. I got some tea. I need y'all to sit, take a seat, grab your drinks so we could discuss this. Last night, I was on live after posting about Gypsy Rose following her ex, Ken, that she admitted to cheating with, and him following her on TikTok as well. Now, originally, there was a video that I had made back on 11/8 about Ken commenting, and I was saying it wasn't the real Ken. Now, it actually was the real Ken. Okay, so right now, hang on to that information. Just keep following. So I got on live, and everybody kept saying, someone's in your life, someone's in your life. This was who was in the live. And this is proof that she was, in fact, in the live. Now, after doing some research this morning, I find this post. This is Ken's mama. And Ken is right here in the picture. All right, hold on to that, right? Now, Gypsy Rose's new profile picture is this. Look at the comment down here and look who wrote it. Also, now, look who's a bartender in Dallas, Texas, 5 hours away from Gypsy. And are we sure he is in Dallas? Well, if we're unsure, look at this. His mama said her son visited her all the way from Dallas, Texas. Now, also, in Gypsy Rose's confession documentary, she admitted that Ken really loved blonde girls. And we notice that she's went blonde recently. Did the Barbie video. Yep. And recently started following him, and he recently started following her back. All right, but hit the plus sign. Keep following along, because I'm bringing the tea. So now that you guys have seen that clip, tell me what your thoughts are on the fact that she literally said she wanted me to clear up this with Ken. Okay? Then she says, also, I'm very disappointed how people have taken what I said about autism and turned it into something that I didn't mean. And maybe I didn't say what I wanted to say correctly. I feel it kind of got very twisted very fast. And please, if you'd let me, please explain to you. If you want to put it out there, that's fine. So she said, I made a comment. No, that comment I made on YouTube was widely taken out of context. Now, again, like part of the issue with this is that she's not taking accountability, and she's blaming the viewers that actually watched the video and read it, that they were misunderstanding. So it seems like there's always a lot of misunderstandings, and people never really understand what's going on, right? She said, I was asked a question I assumed was talking about Nick. I was trying to explain how autism doesn't absolve him from the crime. I have a cousin with autism, and I support the autistic community. I hate that everyone took that and ran with it, and that I don't support or think autism is real, and I do know that. But I was only trying to make a point. If someone goes out and commits a crime under any circumstances, manipulation or not, some accountability must be taken under the law. Or else, if autism was an exception to a crime, people would use that as an excusable behavior. That is all I meant, and I said it in a way that seems messed up. My apologies to you and everyone who was offended. I honestly just didn't phrase it the way I meant it. I was only trying to explain how I felt in regards to my co-defendant, who, yes, has autism, but level 1. Now, I was not aware that there's a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. I do know there's a spectrum, but and you guys correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. She was like, he was diagnosed a level 1 who needs very little help to function, and the expert testified this during his trial. Now, is that a popular opinion? No. Do I feel bad about Nick being in prison for something that I asked him to do? Absolutely. That weighs on me, but I can't crawl into a ball and cry about it every single day. I need to focus on my own mental health. And as for advocating for him, quite honestly, people advocated for me to get an early release, and it wasn't worth a damn because ultimately the court system has the main control. Social media doesn't. I'm under strict parole guidelines, and when it comes to discussing Nick, I just don't want to say anything or make any moves regarding him because quite honestly, freedom is nice, and I don't want to take that for granted. I may not address that. I feel responsible for him being in prison, but that's my cross to bear. We both had to walk our journeys separately. And in my interview where I said I didn't testify as a murderer, I really didn't phrase that the right way. What I meant was I'm not going to walk into a job interview, reach my hand out and shake my interviewer's hand and say, I'm Gypsy the murderer. Let's be clear, Gypsy has never went to a job interview since she's been out. Okay, Gypsy doesn't want to work, so I don't know what she's speaking of. But she said, all I meant was that my past does not define my future. Yes, if you have murdered someone, your past does definitely affect your future. I don't care what you say. That is exactly how people view you, as someone that has murdered someone. She said, all I meant by, so I said that part already. She was like, I don't think I phrased it correctly. I'm not saying that I'm innocent. I did my time. And I think since I've been given a second chance by the court system, I should be able to get a second chance in the public as well. Now, granted, unfortunately, I came out of prison and I had to promote a docuseries, which I felt like they pushed interviews into the ground and led me into massive exposure. So if you listen to that, she didn't take any accountability for the things she said or the things that she did, because if Gypsy was smart, or if she came out with a PR person, they would have led her in the right direction. She should have came out and said, you know what, I don't want to discuss Nicholas or the past. You know, we both have made our mistakes. We're having to live with them. And I just want to focus on my future. Should have been what she said. It shouldn't have been a going down the rabbit hole, because she opened herself up to other legal ramifications.
Right. And then we talk about how this was kind of getting a message
out to Nicholas. Yes. So she says the support was nice at first until people started turning on me. And I may not say everybody has to be pro Gypsy or support Gypsy, but I don't think that my best shot in life is being scrutinized by the public. Well, if you put yourself out there in the public, you're going to get public scrutiny. So I just think that that's really bizarre that she wants the public to fund her lifestyle, but she doesn't want anyone to have anything to say about it. That's a little bizarre to me.
Remember, the D is fire. Remember,
right. And she was very vocal about that, you know. So, however, she said Lifetime has their own PR and their own agenda for wanting to make their show popular. But I'm on this end doing what's best for myself and advocating for me. I'm going to be doing a video because I signed up to the volunteer with the Habitat for Humanity, and unfortunately I received an email from them rejecting my offer to volunteer because they don't want me specifically to volunteer. I wrote them back a response and asked them if I may make a significant donation, and I have not heard back from them. Now, let's be clear. The Habitat for Humanity is the one that actually gave Gypsy Rose her home. Okay? So the home that she unalived her mom in was a Habitat for Humanity home. And she has the audacity to ask them if she can volunteer for them. That's wild. Wild. Like, when you really think about how wild that is, that's like bizarre. However, she's saying she wants to donate. Now, this is the thing about the volunteer work. She obviously did this because her show Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, is getting ready to air. She wanted to have this physically on the show, that she was volunteering for the Habitat for Humanity, and she felt like that would make her look good. Now that they said no, she's saying, can she make a significant donation? Let's be clear, because this would be on Lifetime, she herself wouldn't be making the donation. Lifetime would be making the donation, and it would be a tax write-off for them, because this is on the show. That is an expense of the show, right? And so she wasn't even going to be honest with the fact that it wasn't going to come out of her pocket. This was going to be an expense that Lifetime would have taken. But we're going to move along. She also said that I wrote them back a response and asked them if I could make a significant donation. I said that already. I have not heard back from them. I'm also making plans to make a donation to Make-A-Wish Foundation. But quite honestly, I would like to talk to someone at the New Orleans location, New Orleans branch. Bring a picture of me when I was on my Make-A-Wish trip and apologize and give them a check. Now she is saying she wants to bring a picture of her in her wheelchair on this fake trip for disabled kids and give them a check and apologize, and she wants to do this in person. Why? Because it's going to be filmed. That is wild. Like, how disingenuous is that?
That's exactly what I'm sitting here doing. Every move is to get publicity. It's nothing
right?
genuine.
So that blew me. That blew my mind. Now, she also said, I also have been doing advocating for my friend Amelia by means of a project like the Innocence Project, the Willow Project, and I also have some very important connections that I've made, all of which I talk about in my new show. I'm doing what I can do to multitask, adjusting to society, dealing with the hate on social media, and trying to navigate this advocation and getting the connections with people to help me, guide me on this journey. It's a lot on my hands and on my plate for someone just getting out of prison. I feel like the world expects me to be some kind of superhero and cure cancer, and if I'm not living up to that, then they hate me, which is understanding that social media is not the real world, and it keeps me grounded. So I'm not sitting over here reading every comment that everybody makes about me. I would drive myself insane. I do post some things here and there, and I move on. I realized that she realized that she was misspelling stuff, like her stepmom's name and stuff. She says, but my past does not define my future. Damn, talk to text is what she put. Now, I did let her know that I did understand what she was saying. I'm on my way to work, and I want to put this out there the right way. I'll make a recording tonight. Also, how would you like me to prove that I actually spoke with you? Would you like me to tag you in the video? What are you comfortable with? Okay, so she said basically, yes, you can tag me. Thank you so much for listening to me. I was a little intimidated to contact you because I know you've been on the fence about me, and rightfully so. I understand that you have a very complicated past, and not everything that I do and say is always right, but I sat on it for a couple of days, and I'm like, let me try and explain myself and see how things go. Now, again, ironically, this was after I posted that video about her and Ken. So she sat on this for a couple of days. I know for a fact that that is her being dishonest.
That's called manipulation. How am I going to turn this around in my favor?
So she also says, I hope that after this show is over, I'll be able to live a peaceful life. I'm sure as hell not making millions off my story. I've probably made $200,000 in total from my ebook and our show, which I gave $20,000 to my parents to pay them back, take care of myself while I was for taking care of me while I was in prison. I literally just started monetizing on TikTok on February 19th. I made roughly $6,000. Lifetime didn't give me any advice about monetizing my stuff before they took me on a promotion tour, which I'm kicking myself for that now. I said, oh man, yeah, you could have made a lot more money, but do what's best for you.
She been out in jail 4 months and she made $2,000?
Right.
$200K?
She says, yes, I agree. At least it's a little nest egg so I can buy myself a car and some things, because when I came out of prison, I came out with absolutely nothing. I'm still buying clothes and my makeup, which I totally botched that makeup video. My stepmom took me to Ulta, and so she did a video. It was really funny. and I stitched the video. I used the voiceover of the video, and it's actually really comical. Then she also goes on to say, this is not public knowledge yet, but I've hired an attorney. And so she's basically saying that Fancy, which is the lady that her stepmom and her have went through some things, this person, she's getting ready to serve this person because of all of what's going on with this lady. She basically has used her medical records and done all these kinds of things, and basically she's saying it's a conspiracy, her conspiracy theories and everything. She wants to get a restraining order and all of that. So basically it would be kind of like where this lady couldn't speak on her case, anything like that. So I said, oh, okay, whatever she said, it's some extra stuff. We're going to post this all here. She also said I had to delete my video. Apparently my number was uncovered. So I was like, oh my gosh, did people reach out to you? It was like basically small talk. And then she was like, I'm sorry she said, I'm sorry that you're getting attacked right now. I feel like everybody wants me to be the big bad wolf and not be a voice of reason. So I apologize if you're getting attacked, but I'm simply putting out what we've talked about. So I said, I don't really care about the comments, because if you guys know me, I don't really care about like people bullying me. Like, I'm not bothered by that. And she was like, because I'm also trying to make better choices for myself. I spoke to the Lifetime PR today in a meeting, and they strongly wanted me to reactivate my Instagram, or let them reactivate it and use it for PR purposes. And I stood my ground and said that's not what the best option for me. And what's in my best interest is freedom. I get you guys want to promote the series, but that's your agenda, not mine, because quite honestly, they could give 2 F's about everything in their business world that would affect me. So I was like, wow, good for you. Then she was saying about responding to comments on the internet. And I said, yeah, I agree with not responding to comments. It wouldn't benefit you at this point. It would just be an argument in the comment section. However, based on what you've said, I think you've done a lot of self-reflection, and that kind of humanizes you. She said, I posted the video like 5 minutes ago. I had to split it up in 2 videos because my videos were 12 minutes. The video was 12 minutes long. So there's one that's 10 minutes and then another one that's like 2 minutes and 7 seconds. I tried to make my point and giving myself a little grace. I told her I'd watch it in a few. Okay. So that was pretty much the gist of this conversation. Now, she also explained the breakdown of how she was getting paid. She said, I want to clear up some things so I can explain how my documentary is set up. So Lifetime had to give me 6 episodes in the contract. It states 6 episodes with the option to do 10 episodes post-prison. So that green lit the additional X amount of episode post-prison. It was supposed to be 10. I don't think it will be 10. I'm just really sure they haven't decided how many number of episodes it will be for the show that I'm filming for right now, but it went off of the original Prison Confessions contract, so I wasn't able to turn down the additional episodes post-prison. So it was something that I had already agreed to while I was in prison for the original 6 episodes, but the Prison Confession and then Lifetime came back wanting more episodes, so it goes off of the same original contract. So it's not 2 different contracts. I'd have 1 documentary, and then they decide what they were going to do with more episodes. So I want it to be known it's an obligation. So she's basically breaking it down at that point, which I don't know if any of this is true or not, because then again, it's Gypsy Rose, and we know that she hasn't been honest about everything or forthcoming up until this point, right? So moving on, she said, my stepmom does not want it put out that I have a restraining order against Fancy. She wants us she doesn't want it being put out there. If you say it, then whatever, but I'm on the phone with Christy and she's like, hold back. I told her I'm talking to you. So I said, I meant to ask you that, which is why I didn't say anything. She was like, this is so you know I'm telling the truth for your eyes and your eyes only. It was Mike Stanfield, which is her old attorney. She was basically showing me the screenshots of the Facebook message that the text message that she sent him. Mm-hmm. I said, I actually believe you because I know Fancy's crazy. She said, I know. So fast forward, I realized at that point, she had a friend on Facebook, on TikTok. Her name is Bree. She sent the screenshots of the messages between her and I to Bree. So I said to her, you told me that you wanted us to keep this between you and I, which at that point, she breached the agreement that she made. Mm-hmm. So all bets are off. I can share whatever with whoever because you did that, right? Mm-hmm. So I asked her, why did she share it with her? I said, question, why did you ask me not to share the screenshots only for you to share it with Bree? Mm-hmm. Flatline, nothing. Mm-hmm. So at that, and I gave her 2 days before I even made a post about it, right? But this right here shows you the manipulation and who she is as a person. Mm-hmm. And anyone that says otherwise and says that I'm wrong or I should not have put this out there, they are wrong. Mm-hmm. Because anytime you make an agreement, the agreement is between you and that person. And when you break that agreement, you broke that agreement. And at that point, anything can be done.
Yep, deal's off. Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now, as it's already known, I was never a big fan of Gypsy Rose, and Gypsy Rose knew that. Yeah. So why would you do something shady like that? Not only did you do something shady, you didn't even explain yourself because you knew you were wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She just data dumped all this stuff on you and then just...
Right, and most of it was lies, right? Because even the part with Ken, like I keep going back to that part because she lied about something so small. Mm-hmm. She could have said, yes, I spoke to him as a friend. Mm-hmm. Yes, Ryan knew, or even whatever. But she specifically said she speaks through Ken, through her mom. And Ken himself told me that they discussed this before she ever messaged me. So we're just going to put that out there. But my opinion on this whole conversation was basically just letting you know that she is who she is. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And everything I predicted, obviously, at this point, I'm right. Because she left Ryan 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. A few days after she leaves Ryan, she gets with Ken. Mm-hmm. Now, they're saying they're friends, but I feel like it's more than that.
Didn't they spend the whole weekend together?
They were holding hands.
Tattoos.
They were caught kissing. They have matching tattoos. They got bracelets that are couples bracelets. Mm. They were very much together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no matter what they try to say, they constantly keep saying they weren't together. I just feel like that is kind of just their words. Yeah. Now, I will be honest, Ken can't admit that he's been messing with her.
Right. A lot of these reality shows, they pay you to have a wedding with someone on TV. Do you think that maybe she needed like a love interest because maybe Ken was not willing at the time to be on television or anything, or to play the role of a love interest? Like she needed to have a storyline, right?
No, I think that she used Ryan because Ryan on paper looked good. Mm-hmm. He was a teacher.
Yeah.
A settled man with a great career. And her and this teacher were going to go off and whisk away and have a good life. On parole paper, it looks good. Yeah. I found out that allegedly Ken has a couple of misdemeanor, traffic violations. Now, to us, that's not a big deal. But when you're looking at a parole board, they would look at that sort of thing like negligence. Yeah. He's also a bartender. So it wouldn't be the best suit for her to get out. So that could have possibly been a reason that parole would have denied her. I think that Ryan was a guarantee, and she used Ryan to get what she wanted, because even when she got out, she did not look very interested in Ryan.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, so I think when you look at those types of things, a lot of this just really sounds like BS.
Yeah.
And
let's keep it real. We're females. If you're keeping in touch with an ex and you're married, I don't care if it's just conversations or whatever. Cheating is cheating. I'm
keeping you on the back burner, and I'm keeping you in my back pocket for a reason.
Yeah.
If I'm entertaining you and on any level, and I'm married, just know I'm keeping you on the back burner. Like, and I'm telling you that right now. So any man that talks to me, if I'm married and I'm entertaining you, I'm keeping you on the back burner.
Yep.
Because I'm going to pull you out when I'm ready to pull you out.
That's it. That's it.
So
all
it
this
is what it is.
apologizing, just friends and all. No, she
and literally a week after, she said people were saying, like one of her friends was saying she was distraught. She was so sad. She blah, 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 blah. A woman that's so distraught would not be gallivanting around New Orleans with a ex-fiance. Not an ex-boyfriend, a ex-fiance.
Wasn't she distraught after she killed her mother? She was having brownies, right?
Oh, yeah.
And pizza. She was distraught then too, so.
Yeah, so it really just shows, and again, she tries to say that Ryan is basically being abusive, allegedly, and so this just really pretty much seems like a trend.
Yeah.
Like
she
this
don't
is
need
just
him no more. So yeah.
Exactly. This really sounds like a trend. So that's where I'm like, okay, I don't really know, because this is just sounding a little too familiar. Yeah. Because it's always she's the victim. Somebody did something to her. It's always that, and then I feel like Ken very much feels like he needs to protect her. Very similar to the way Nick felt. It actually scares me for Ken.
Okay, yeah.
Not in a way that I think that he would unalive someone, because I don't get those vibes.
Right.
But I think he'll get himself in a situation because he really loves her and he wants to prove that to her.
Yeah. Well, the thing with manipulative people, you always want to see the best out of them, right? You believe.
And that's where he's at, because the thing that made me really sad about Ken, and Ken, if you're watching this is me being very genuine. What made me the saddest is that you really felt like she was a victim this entire time and she's not a perpetrator. And that let me know that you were blinded by her and that you had been manipulated, because at the time when Gypsy's mom passed away and she was killed, it had been 7 years since she had had a surgery. She actually had pending fraud charges. And this is all alleged, for educational purposes only. But that lets me know that she was able to manipulate him, because, he said she was abused and she was trying to get away from her mom, and she was a captive of her mother. And where did this photo come from? Because I feel like he is trying to think she's this Disney World princess, and this is who she really was. So that kind of, I don't know, made me sad for him, because I feel like we're watching
a trailer. And it's 4 months. 4 months since she's out. It's not happenstance or circumstances. People who are chaotic are chaotic.
Right. And I don't feel bad for Gypsy. I strictly feel bad for him. And that's me being honest. I don't feel bad for Gypsy. I feel like all this guilt trip about being scrutinized by the public when you put yourself out there in the public, I think all of that is BS. And I don't feel bad for you, because you should be in prison for life, regardless of how she feels. And so that's where I'm at with that. And
you know what? This is just my feeling, and this is just my belief in God. If you were genuine about something so serious, you would literally take that time to make your peace with God. You will not take this much time to make peace with the public and going back and forth with the public. It's never going to work out where you're going to find peace and solace amongst chaos. It does not go together.
No.
Not at all.
So that's pretty much where I'm at with this. I want you guys to stay tuned, because my next video is about to be wild. I'm about to explain all of what happened with Ryan Lee, myself, and Christy Blanchard, along with the PR person. So you guys hang on. But we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye for now.